Hey team, Sammer here on Sportsmanlike Conduct, and I'm hoping I actually post this video. So over the past few days, I've been making basically a video a day, and every time I go to post it, something else happens. So here we are. Today is March 23rd, and this is after the Tyreek Hill trade. So, oh my god, I'm gonna post this video, and it's gonna happen today. So let me first start by saying that, as we know now, Matt Ryan is no longer with the Falcons. Ever since the Falcons had been pursuing Deshaun Watson, it seemed pretty evident that they were going to be moving on from Matt Ryan. And it seemed that, Matt Ryan wanted to move off from the Falcons too, which I completely understand. And, obviously, we've been in a rebuild. We were in a rebuild last year, obviously. We just never called it a rebuild because we still had Matt Ryan. And if you have someone like Matt Ryan, there's always a chance. We won 7 games. People were saying we would have won more. I actually won a bet with someone that we'd win under 7.5, and I, as you know, won that bet because we only won 7 games. But as long as we have someone like Matt Ryan, everyone still has hope. But we were in a rebuild. We knew we were in a multi-year rebuild. It wasn't gonna be overnight. It wasn't a retool. It wasn't like get a couple pieces here and there. We had some pieces that brought some success, but we've been in a rebuild, and now we're fully in full swing of a rebuild. We have Tank Commander Marcus Mariota, Tank Marshall, Tank whatever you want to call him, Tank Driver. Obviously, we're not going to tank, but we're going to tank, especially with Marcus Mariota at the helm. Now, I know they brought in Marcus Mariota because Arthur Smith's relationship with him in Tennessee, and I don't know how I feel, but it doesn't matter. Whoever we brought in, it really didn't matter because, again, we're not in this to win anymore. I do personally think it would have been a lot of fun to have Gardner Minshew as our quarterback. I really wanted to have Gardner Minshew as our quarterback. And rebuild around him, and then get a quarterback either next year or the year after that can take over from there. Because Gardner Minshew would be an excellent bridge quarterback. He's a lot of fun to watch. His personality, he's got it all. But and who knows? Maybe he turns out to be a really good quarterback. He just never really has been given a chance. But so I know why the Falcons didn't get Gardner Minshew. Now Marcus Mariota is a free agent. You didn't have to give up any picks for him. Giving up picks right now doesn't make any sense. We'd have to give up a pick to the Eagles if we wanted to pick up Gardner Minshew. And I do believe that because Philadelphia picked up Gardner Minshew last year because Sirianni really liked him. And don't get me wrong, he's a great quarterback to have on your team. But I do believe that he wasn't given a chance this year because he was tied in a contract with Philadelphia, and someone would have to give up a pick for him. So teams are like, well, why would I have to give up a pick when there's people available out there? Well, up till now, there was Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota, and there were players out there that Teddy Bridgewater and others, that you could pick up and use as a backup or bring into your team, like what the Giants did with Tyrod Taylor. Brought him in as a backup just in case Daniel Jones doesn't pan out, which, poor guy. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't even want to talk about the Giants. I don't know why I got on that topic. But what I'm trying to say is, I believe if Gardner Minshew was a free agent, he would have been taken a little earlier. But it worked. Everything kind of worked out for the best. The only teams left that need a quarterback right now are Carolina Panthers and the Seattle Seahawks. Carolina has Sam Darnold. The Seahawks have Drew Lock. Now, can both teams run with those specific quarterbacks? They can. Technically, they have a quarterback, but are you going to win games? You might here and there, but not really, honestly. But what's the alternative? Trade a pick for Baker Mayfield for a year? Carolina's already said they don't want to do that, and Baker said he doesn't want to go to Carolina either, actually. And again, Gardner Minshew, you got to trade a pick for him. In Seattle, why would Seattle trade a pick right now? They just got so many picks for Russell Wilson. I feel like trading one of those picks or any pick for someone like Baker Mayfield kind of defeats the purpose of trading away Russell Wilson. Which, actually, is there really a purpose for trading away Russell Wilson? The only reason trading away Russell Wilson makes sense is if you get a haul of picks and you said, I don't have any picks. I can't bring anything in for Russell Wilson. I cannot help him. Let me just get him to a team where he can succeed. make him happy because I can't keep him happy here. So you got a bunch of picks for him. Trading a pick for Baker Mayfield or Gardner Minshew or someone doesn't make any sense to me. So now you rebuild from the draft. You get a bunch of young players and you start to see what holes you're missing and you start to fill those in free agency as well. I don't think Seattle should go for a quarterback. Whatever. They have Drew Lock. It is what it is. Move forward. You know you're not going to win games anyway this year, especially in that division, which actually last year was probably the best division in the league. This year, the AFC North and the AFC West are ridiculous and now makes the NFC West kind of look like they're just chump change. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Matt Ryan was a leader here in Atlanta, not just for the team, but for the city. He gave us 14 years, and he took us to a Super Bowl, and he did everything he could for the city, both on the field and off the field. And we appreciate everything he's done for the team. Still going to represent the jersey. Just because he switched teams doesn't mean he's not Atlanta's quarterback. Well, he's obviously not Atlanta's quarterback, but he was probably one of the best Atlanta Falcons players of all time. Him and Julio Jones and a few others, obviously, prime time, but he barely played here. But anyway, so we appreciate you, Matt Ryan, for everything you've done for the city of Atlanta. And I think it's a win-win-win, no matter what. I mean, Atlanta wins because, well, did we win? I mean, we got a third-round pick. We got something out of it. We're moving on. We're finally closing the book. Obviously, we still have him on our cap hit as big cap hit, biggest in the NFL, but we're still closing the book on this era and moving forward. Big win for Matt Ryan because now he goes to a team with one of the best offensive line, one of the best running backs, and excellent defense in the pass rush, and they'll get some receivers in the draft because we're seeing what's going on. It's ridiculous. And it's a big win for the Colts because, they didn't have a quarterback. They traded away Carson Wentz, got 2 third-round picks, and they didn't have a quarterback at the time. So they got a stud. So last year, as we know, Matthew Stafford left Detroit and went to the Rams and won a Super Bowl. The year before, Tom Brady left the Patriots, went to Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl in his first year. I mean, is this a trend? Is this something that's happening now? I mean, we have 3 quarterbacks that moved, but I'm talking about like the older quarterbacks, if you may, moved from one place to another. I guess Russell Wilson kind of falls in that as well. You move from one team that kind of had no hope to another team, and then at that team you go and you take them to a Super Bowl and win. So, I mean, I've heard talk about like people saying, oh, Matt Ryan can win a Super Bowl here just like Matthew Stafford did and Tom Brady did. But if I had to give it to one quarterback that moved from place to place, I'd have to say it's Russell Wilson. Now, don't get me wrong, that wide receiver core they have, I feel like isn't as strong as what other people are making it out to be. Now, there's a chance that we just don't know what they can do because we haven't really seen them with an elite quarterback or deep threat quarterback. We have Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, and Jerry Jeudy. I mean, and honestly, I don't know if they're going to be good or not. I mean, with Russell Wilson, he can make anyone look good, I guess. So maybe take some of those guys. Which one of those guys would you take first in a fantasy football draft? Not like first top overall. I mean, of those 3 receivers, which one of those do you go for? Which one of those is going to be the most productive guy? I have no idea. How do you in fantasy football, how do you draft one of those guys? And speaking of fantasy football, I believe Tyreek Hill's value has gone way down now because of this. I don't think it's slanderous to say this against Tua. I think when you go from probably the best or one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the league to Tua Tagovailoa, no matter how good or bad or whatever he is, you're going from the best quarterback in the league down to someone who's not. And not even in the top 10, I would say. But I don't know, that might ruin his, lower his fantasy value a little bit there. It's just crazy what's been going on in the NFL this year. It's been insane. Players are moving around because of salary, really. And I mean, who has a salary cap to pay Tyreek Hill $30 million a year? Because that's what he got. Well, he got $72 million of it guaranteed. Again, I'm no capologist, so I don't know how it all works out, but $30 million a year for a wide receiver. Dude, that's quarterback money. That is quarterback money. There's plenty of quarterbacks in the league. And obviously we know the quarterback is the most important position on the team. they're the quarterback. I mean, whenever you reference anyone who's like in control or in charge in anything outside of football, you refer to them as a quarterback of the company, a quarterback of the organization, or whatever it is. The quarterback touches the ball on every single play, whether they pass it off or they throw it or they run it themselves. They are touching the ball on every single offensive play. I guess unless it's shotgun formation, but don't get caught up in technicalities, okay? But they touch the ball on every play. They have to read the defense. They have to adjust the offense. They have to know what the routes are. They have to place the ball perfectly while they're running routes. They have so many things they have to know. So what I'm trying to say is wide receivers are now making as much and more than other quarterbacks, which is crazy to me. Now, obviously, running routes is important, and being able to catch those 50-50 balls is insane. So you can just throw it up to them, and they'll figure it out. They'll make it happen, or they'll find their way open. But, I mean, this offseason has been insane. I don't know what to expect for next year's season. I mean, I made a video recently about how the Falcons can make the playoffs. Now, obviously, that is way gone now. And we're going to be turning to the draft. But let me end by saying I believe that the Falcons will make the playoffs in 2025. It'll be a few years, but we're in a full-on rebuild now, obviously. We have picks, and we're going to have picks, and we'll have a top pick next year. Maybe not the top pick, but who knows? I mean, there aren't many teams that are worse than Atlanta this year. I mean, we have a lot of young quarterbacks who will be in their second year and third year, and different coaching, different styles, different players. For example, Jacksonville got Doug Peterson, who I think is an excellent addition for that team. He used to be a quarterback. And they also got a bunch of, I'd say, B-plus players. They're not like your top-end players, but they did get a bunch of players in free agency to surround Trevor Lawrence with some talent. I think it'll help them a lot. I don't think they're a playoff team, obviously, especially in the AFC. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm going to list them. We have Denver, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. And I don't mean them in any order. It's just, that's whatever. I mean, who knows what they're going to be? I mean, there is a chance one or two of those teams does not make the playoffs, which would be crazy. Now there's a chance the Chiefs might not even make the playoffs, which would be insane, man. What the hell? They were supposed to be I had a video about this too, about them being a dynasty. And now it's like, well, are they still? I mean, who knows anymore? Now, that division is stacked with the pass rushes, the receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks. Everything is there. So I don't know what's going to happen there. And then you have the AFC North, where you have the Steelers with Mitch Trubisky, so I'd say they're on the lower end there. But they've also revamped a lot of their team too, so they're in there. They're in the mix. You have the Browns with Deshaun Watson, which I didn't even bring up yet, but Deshaun Watson could be suspended I believe he'll be suspended for most of the season. I'd be surprised if he's not suspended for at least 8 games, but there's a chance he's suspended for the whole season. So I'd say, hold off on the Browns for now. In the future, next year and the year after, they'll probably be up there again, but I can't see them elevating this year. So Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, man, half their team was injured last year. Their running backs, I don't know what happened there, but their top 3 running backs got injured before the season started. Like come on. And they had so many other injuries there, so I think Baltimore's going to bounce back with Lamar. He just had a bad season too. He got injured towards the end. I think they'll have a big bounce back season, and Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens will be very good. And obviously, we just had the Bengals go to the Super Bowl. Now, before all this free agency stuff happened, I was like, oh, my hot take is going to be that the Bengals don't make the playoffs. That's still possible, but they just super went all in on their offensive line. And I mean, they have Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and they just picked up Hayden Hurst from Atlanta too, so that's a great pickup because he's a blocking tight end and he can catch the ball. You can rely on him. He's an excellent addition for them. And they're gonna get some pass rush, or they had a good pass rush. They're gonna get some corners, and they're gonna go into the draft and supplant their defense a little bit more. So the Bengals can absolutely make the playoffs and make a big run. And then you have the Bills, who obviously gonna make the playoffs because of Josh Allen. And now you have Miami, which, I don't know, maybe Tua is good. He's just never been given a chance. And you have the Patriots with Mac Jones, and as long as you have Bill Belichick and a stout defense, who always gets more than what his players can do. He always gets the most out of his players. And then you have the Jets with a young quarterback. Now you have Indianapolis. So one of either Indianapolis or Tennessee is going to make the playoffs. Not both. One or the other will make the playoffs. I would give it to Indianapolis because of Matt Ryan, but you can't ever doubt Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry because, I mean, they're monsters, man. And last year I doubted them. I said they wouldn't make the playoffs, and they were the top seed. So I was way wrong about that. Now they added Robert Woods. They let go of Julio Jones, which we got that second-round pick out of it at least, so there's that. But they got Robert Woods, and they still have A.J. Brown, who's a monster. So Tennessee's still up there, but I'll still give it to the Colts. I gave it to the Colts last year, and I was wrong, but I got to double down right now. But the point I'm trying to make is, in this 16-minute video, is that I don't know what point I'm trying to make. All I'm trying to say is this offseason has been insane. I mean, we've seen moves that I didn't expect. I didn't expect Davante Adams to leave Aaron Rodgers. I thought they were buddy-buddy. I thought they were close. I didn't think Aaron Rodgers would come back unless Davante Adams was guaranteed to come back too. Now it's like, well, who the hell is Aaron Rodgers' top receiver? Who's his wide receiver 1? Who's his wide receiver 2? Do they even still have Lazard? I think they still have Lazard. They don't have Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who I don't think was a 2 anyway, which was a problem for them that they didn't have a strong wide receiver 2. They had Davante Adams and then old Randall Cobb and Lazard and Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who were decent, but who knows? Maybe they're actually really good, but Aaron Rodgers didn't know how to make them better. And everyone says, oh, Aaron Rodgers makes everyone better. But I didn't see that. He made Davante Adams better, or did Davante Adams make Aaron Rodgers better? I don't know. I mean, and this year we'll find out. I mean, I'm sure they're going to draft a wide receiver in the draft, but I don't think we've heard anything from Aaron Rodgers since the Davante Adams news. So I'm excited to see how this whole thing plays off. I will say, I just saw a report, Bobby Wagner's meeting with the Rams, and they got Allen Robinson too. So I think the Rams will have the NFC this year. I mean, it'll be between the Rams and Tampa. Because I feel like Trey Lance in San Francisco is a little too young. Kyler Murray, I mean, they lost Chandler Jones, so, I mean, they're going to be a little bit worse this year. They also lost Christian Kirk. I mean, I think, yeah, this year it's going to be between Matt Stafford and Tom Brady in the NFC. And I think it'll be a piece of cake. They might not even play each other. They want to, Tampa Bay might get knocked out by someone else. And the Rams just have a free roll to make it to the Super Bowl. And let that juggernaut of a conference fight themselves, battle it amongst each other, and knock themselves out and take themselves apart. And don't get me wrong, it's going to be fun as hell to watch. But, I mean, someone's going to win, and everyone else is going to lose in the AFC. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really excited for this season. Let me know what trade you guys think was the best in your opinion. What was cool, what was not cool. And let me know what your thoughts are on the Matt Ryan move, because I know we only got a third-round pick out of it, but it's end of an era here. Let's just move on, put it behind us, and let me know what you guys also think who we should draft this year. To me, I think we need to get Jordan Davis, so I don't know. I think he's a game changer, and I think he'd be an excellent rebuilding tool on the defense. I know I wanted to keep this short, but like I said, I've been making so many videos, and I just basically piled everything in one now, and I'm going to upload tonight. You'll see this. Alright, guys. Let me know what y'all thoughts are. See you next time.